We changed these things, and this is why.
Hey guys, my name is Nick Ward, and this is Taxi Garage. Today we're going to go over the stock Razor Crazy Cart and our Stage 5 Crazy Cart, literally. So this is the Mac Daddy of all of the stuff that we've come to currently, upgrades and all of that, and then this is the stock one. So the stock one is going to come out of the box like this. This is directly from Razor. So you've got a 24-volt battery set up under these covers that you'll see on that cart over there that we don't run because we're always working on them like race cars. So we got into this and started riding these stock ones, which a lot of you guys are riding, simply because it reminds us of drifting. We all here are into the motorsports world, have huge amounts of background and the car side of it, and then did this as a cheaper alternative. Get together with your friends, crash around, have fun, and then inherently with us, we have to make things faster, and I'm extremely hard on things, my race car, and then obviously my crazy cart. So right here you will have the standard crazy cart wheel that comes here with this little caster. These, when you ride, are a wear item just like a tire on your car. The rougher the surface, the harder you ride, like doing burnouts. You can't do it here, but the rough surface will blow those out. You then also on the bottom side here have safety pegs and a air tire. So this is like a bike. Actually, this one needs a little bit of air, but this and this are going to be your two fastest wear items when you ride the cart. So what we did to fix that, because we were blowing through them extremely fast, because we were riding 3-4 times a week with all of our buddies, we designed and came out with this solid rubber tire. So this works on the factory wheel. It's 4 bolts. I have a video of that on our channel. You can watch to actually see the change. But we've got this, so it's fully solid, no foam, anything like that. This is what the stock one looks like. Looks real familiar, I'm sure, if you've ever worked on a bicycle. So this thing right here, the way it wears is that once it wears through this rubber patch here, it'll poke a hole in your tube, and now you're flat. This one, being the fully solid Taxi Garage tire, will wear down to basically nothing. There's one other benefit to that, is that if you are riding out with your friends like we do, we ride all over the place, if you pop this tire, you're not going to be able to get home. So another benefit, you get home with that. So with that, the next thing that I talked about was the casters. So as we're riding these carts, the wheels were started to blow out, and we were looking for solutions to replace these, get a little bit of longevity out of it. So this is going to be one of the stock Crazy Cart wheels that has been worn, and you can see it chunks. They do the job, but as you're riding around and riding on rough surfaces, they do wear and they break. So what we did is we just came out with the upgraded wheel here that will work as a bolt-on solution. Same dynamics of how your cart rides, and will give you that longevity. It does not come with our big ball bearings that we offer in the skateboard wheel upgrade and our Crazy Cart XL and small caster upgrade, but we'll get the job done. It's a little bit more cost effective, bang for the buck, and these are currently out of stock. So the next thing that we were doing was running skateboard wheels. So skateboard wheel obviously does not quite have the height, so it changes the dynamic a little bit. However, we put the big ball bearings, which dissipates the heat if you're riding on, a long distance or really hard. We found that the lower quality bearings would then waller this hole out, and it would blow a wheel and a bearing. So now you're having to spend more money twice. So we try to avoid that. And in the evolution of us riding the cart, we found that we needed a braking effect. Since the cart has no brakes, it does have the handbrake, which you'll see here on the cart. That changes the dynamic of the caster. So what you'll see is that when you pick up the handbrake, it changes the caster. So this is a lot like standing on the front of a shopping cart. So if you're going to Walmart or whatever, and you stand on the front of a shopping cart and try to push it backwards, it wants to spin you around. Well, that's the same way the Crazy Cart works. So with that dynamic, the more contact patch you have on the ground, the more control you have, just like a car. The wider the tire is, the more contact patch you have, the more control. So, pretty simple concept, but you can only go so far of a wheel on a stock caster. So this one is the widest width that'll fit on a stock caster. That's when we came out with the wide boy caster. So this is our fully CNC'd custom TG caster upgrade. So you'll see some weld marks here. So it's all TIG welded with CNC parts. So it's got a sealed bearing and a shank that's CNC'd that then adapts to your factory Crazy Kart threaded pitch bar on the back side of the cart. So there's ball bearings on the inside of here. Then the shank slides through, and then the sealed bearing that I was talking about, and this cup right here that's CNC'd as well. So there's a lot of work that's involved in this caster to make it strong and smooth. So this is, zero play. Now, the one other upgrade that's nice is that the factory caster, you don't have the ability to is replace these bearings. So we do have bearings. So if you do ever get a caster that has an issue, and you smash something real hard, that bearing right there is usually the one that takes the hit, and we can replace them for you. So it's pretty much the last caster that you'll ever buy. It's basically that, the tire, are the two starting points of the cart. So the wheel is an orangutan longboard wheel. Now I was talking about a little bit earlier about the Reds big balls. So the big balls here have larger ball bearings in there. We've done a lot of testing with Reds. We've done ceramics. Ceramics are just not cost effective. So this is kind of about the medium, most cost effective, best option. The orangutan, this is a durian. So we've made these spacers that work with our casters to fit this wheel directly center in the caster. So you can kind of see the bearing there. So it's super smooth. And also while being cost effective at the same time. Now, these are, fully replaceable and super easy to do once you get the caster. This stuff is very simple to do in your garage. If you're a dad with your kids, this is a super long lasting part. These also work on the XL, which is another part that has a common problem with breaking just when you ride it and crash into stuff. It's common. So that wheel then replaces this. Easiest, best mod that you can do outside of our battery upgrades. So the lithium upgrades that we've designed, this is a 3D printed box. This is the 36 volt lithium ion battery box and the 48 volt battery box. Now these are still prototypes. We've done one batch of them to some customers just to see how everything was going to work. Everything's gone great. So these will be hitting the market very soon. If you come over here to the cart, you'll see basically a few of the upgrades that I've already talked about. So this is the caster. You can see these are worn wheels. Then my 48 volt battery that I'm running on the cart as a test. This isn't quite released for these carts yet. But then it also gets into our power plant. So the one other thing that I was saying with the Crazy Kart is we're speed freaks. We need more speed. So it just wasn't quite fast enough. With that cart comes with a 250 watt motor, which is great for what it's intended for. But this cart's intended for 9-year-olds. I'm 30, so a little bit of a jump. And I also weigh 190 pounds. Now, I'm also 5'11", 6 foot, depending how bad I slouch, on this cart. So I fit comfortably. It's a little awkward. I'm sure you've probably seen some of the videos where my knees are higher than the steering wheel. Kind of funny, but the dynamic of this cart is awesome. So one thing kind of just want to get to is the ability to transport it. With transporting the cart, I can put this in my trunk, ride downtown Fort Lauderdale, all of that. Now, if you're 6'5", 300 pounds, do I recommend you riding this? No. We have the XL version, which will then 100% need the caster upgrade and the 48 volt upgrade for the cart. If you're anywhere from 9 years old to 35 and you need to go out and ride around with your kids, this stage is great. So we do have different renditions of the carts as we progressed. So again, we all started here. The first thing we did was change the wheels and the tires, like I said. Then there's another thing that's a little bit of a hang-up, and literally a hang-up, is that these can get caught on certain terrain. Now, they are good for learning and riding the cart because they keep the cart from flipping. But we've also found that if you're riding in a certain terrain and there's something like a sidewalk that hangs up, this will catch and flip you. So it just depends on where you're riding, and that's going to be your judgment call. Kids, I highly recommend these still be on. Once you get better at riding them, I would take them off. So all of our carts will come with them, and that's going to be a removable piece that you have the option to. So our stage 2 cart will have the stock motor with the 36 volt battery upgrade. So the 36 volt will then go in. We get rid of the covers because we're always tinkering on them, and it also allows some airflow on the motor. If you start riding them and getting into it, you will start using the throttle more. You're going to go a lot faster. So you do want to get that airflow across. So that's stage 2 with skateboard wheels. So stage 3 gets into the Mac Daddy parts and where you're really getting to start to go fast and understand the dynamic of the cart to how we ride it. So with that is our 500 watt fully upgradable, fully upgraded motor package. So this is a 500 watt motor, uses a factory razor tensioner and chain, so all of that stuff you can use from your factory cart. You don't have to rebuy parts. And then a fully replaceable and high quality sub harness. So normally this is my test cart, so normally it does have a little trough that runs through and keeps the motor wiring clean and out of the way. Part of the 500 watt upgrade and the neck is our custom ESC, so basically our speed controller. This has Raychem wiring harnesses, Anderson style connectors to keep the amperage through there without melting any of the connectors, and the neck. So the neck is all CNC plasma cut and built specifically for each motor. So we dial this in with this little motor plate here that will keep the chain and the gear true at all times, no matter what scenario. This part then uses the factory tensioner like I was talking about, and then is all TIG welded and zinc coated. So this is fully zinc coated, TIGged, and then these are some CNC parts that we've made to adapt to work on the Crazy Cart. So it comes with a new lower bearing race. This is a CNC'd adapter piece to distribute the weight, and then the threaded stock that works with the factory neck bearings. So here's what I was talking about too when you go back on the Anderson connectors. So this hub harness is fully replaceable. So it comes with Raychem. So you see the Raychem here, DR25, which is also motorsports oriented. This stuff is very good. You use it on all of the the race harnesses that we were built in our race cars. This is high strand, super flexible wire. And one of the reasons that we do make this replaceable and serviceable is that when it spins around the neck a million times, because that will happen, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it wears the wire out. Happens from the stock Crazy Cart all the way to our carts until maybe one day we make this Bluetooth. Who knows? You're gonna have that problem. So we make it fully replaceable, super easy. Literally, you cut one zip tie, unplug it, fish it through, and you're back rolling. So that is a quick recap of all of our products. We're ready for you to send it. The 48 volt stuff is coming out soon. And oh, one other thing, something that we haven't actually even advertised, is coming also, is the rigidity of the cart. So these carts are very good. People have always asked us, why don't you just make your own chassis? Well, we work really well with Razor, and I feel that they have designed this chassis to be spectacular with its restraints of the weight. So once you start getting heavy and jumping it and being like a madman like I am, or even all the guys at TG, we started doing the bracing. So just like a car, same kind of idea. The stronger that the chassis is, the more responsive, the better it is. So we've added these gussets that then have our nice signature TG and have welded them all in with little dimple dies, just like a race car. Very motorsports-esque. So get under here. We've added bracing here, so if you smash into things, it doesn't dent the whole corner of the cart over. We left the sides because that's going to be no real, worry there. And then these pieces here on the corners. So you'll see all of this added in. So that's all stuff that we've added. Now, the one other thing that we've done is we've seam welded, just like a car. Same idea, is that you beef up the chassis. You can throw so much horsepower at something, but the chassis has to be strong and stable to withstand it. So all of this has been done, and then we've done the custom powder coating. I chose Captain America, Evel Knievel kind of deal. We've got the Green Goblin, which is Charlie's cart, and then we have a teal gold cart, which is Ryan's. So we can do all the different color combinations, whatever you feel like. That is available on the website. If you started getting into the bracing and the stitch welding, all of those things, I suggest you send us an email and see really what you want to do and what you're trying to do with it. We do build them pretty specific. So if you're worried about your weight, you're worried about your kids, you're worried about longevity, all of the things that go through your mind, please shoot us an email. We're glad to answer anything that you may have as a question. And we look forward to sending it with you. Please also check out formulacc.com. So it's one thing we're in the works with, kind of like Formula D or Formula One type of racing community. We want to get everyone out there. We're going to have different classes. So, we'll have the stock classes for the kids, and then we'll have a weight/stage class. Still working out the details, but it will be coming. It's in the pipeline. We've already got a lot of set up stuff for it. Check that out. But I do appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate everything you guys are doing with us, and I hope this was informative and helpful for you guys. Please, again, shoot us any questions you may have if I missed something, and I look forward to sending it with you. Thank you.